Hi, Michael.
Hi Danielle, how are you?
I'm alright. How are you?
Not bad, yeah. Good to
Yeah,
see you again.
yeah. We need to stop being like this.
I
Becoming
know,
a regular
exactly.
occurrence.
One day we'll meet up for
I,
coffee, but
not
I
on
don't know
Zoom.
when that will be.
Yeah, we'll just need to keep going like this just now. So we'll put that a date in the diary for future reference.
Exactly. We might actually do one of these from like a coffee shop or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. We should. That'll sort of be an illustration that COVID is gone, or we're
Yeah,
able to be in person.
yeah,
Of
exactly.
course. But so I think that's what we decided we were going to talk about relationships and our experiences and our views on some of the programs on the TV, like the Undateables and Love on the Spectrum, and how that, in our view, portrays the wrong message.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Well, I mean, like a few years ago, I think it was. I can't remember how long ago it was, Danielle, but like Channel 4 came out with this dating program called The Undateables. Now, from the beginning, I don't know about you, but I didn't like the name of it.
it makes me really angry that names like that, because it's just trying to get people to feel sorry for people with disabilities.
Yeah, I mean, I think as well that okay, it was good to see people dating people with disability sometimes, but also people with a non-disability, as we said, but like even though it's still on Channel 4, it gets a bit boring because it's been on for a few years now.
Yeah. I mean, we've been
Uh,
talking for like a couple of minutes, and none of the two of us have mentioned that we both have cerebral palsy.
yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
Because,
Well, see, that's the thing, Danielle, because um, I mean, I've been saying to you over the past couple of weeks, couple of months or whatever about like I don't really introduce myself as
no,
Michael, I've got cerebral palsy, or Danielle, I've got cerebral palsy. You
no,
just introduce yourself as Danielle. But
yeah,
I suppose if like people's watching us and they don't really know that um about disabilities and stuff like that, or else if we have one, I suppose it would be good just to introduce it. Yeah, so like we both get cerebral palsy.
yeah, and it affects us differently, but I think it's safe to say that neither of the two of us let it define us or let it impact on what we want to do in life.
Yeah, well, yeah, I suppose defined is a good word because disability as a whole doesn't define people, no matter if you've got cerebral palsy or whatever. It's on a label. And look what we've achieved in my life so far, Daniel.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. My CP is only a small part of it. It certainly
No,
doesn't
yeah.
define me, and I don't think it defines you either.
No, yeah, I mean, there's more to me than cerebral palsy.
And I don't make excuses for having cerebral palsy either.
No,
If something happens in life, that's nothing to do with cerebral palsy. It's life.
yeah, yeah. I mean, just got to go on with it and stuff and
Yeah,
all that. But yeah, I mean, that's only a small part, I would say, Daniel. Are
yeah,
you the same?
yeah. And I wouldn't. We said before we pressed recording this blog, these programs on the TV, it's like saying because you have autism or because you have a learning difficulty, you must get on. You and I get on because we have similar interests. We work with the same people. We work with the same organisations. But I wouldn't have said, I would never say, oh yeah, Michael's offending a colleague because he has CP. It's just a ridiculous thing to say.
Yeah, I know. I think it's like still raising awareness, and like even though that we're raising awareness by doing this and by doing other things, but
Yeah.
sometimes I don't know about you, but sometimes it can get a bit annoying because you feel as though that you're repeating the same things over and over
Yeah.
again, but like this is like 2020, and we're supposed to be moving forward in
Yeah.
society, not kind of backwards.
Yeah, and I would say our friendship and working relationship is not based at all on the fact that we both have CP.
Yeah, I mean, it's not to blow my own trumpet here or your own trumpet, but we've you've kind of like achieved a lot in your life, but also like going to events and speaking in front of millions of
Yeah,
people, stuff.
yeah, and I think that's so important. But you and I as well have known each other since school, so we've had different sort of relationships going along the way. But then we got back in touch after I heard you speaking at an event where you did speak about your relationship now. So I don't know if you want to share any of that.
Yeah, I mean, when we speak about relationship, Danielle, that could be relationships with family members or
Yeah,
work members, or relationship with me and you in a kind of work capacity,
yeah,
But also, yeah, I mean, I met my girlfriend, believe it or not, 9 years ago now. It seems like yes, it seems like a long time ago. Well, it was 9 years ago, and what happened was I was out one night with my pals, um, as you do,
yeah,
when we were allowed out to a pub and stuff,
yeah,
and I met this girl, and like we started speaking, and like we just hit it off right away. Um, but what I would say before that, Daniel, was, and I haven't really, well, I have told you a bit about it. I'm not actually sure, but I don't, and I suppose we could move on to this kind of online dating in a wee while.
yeah,
But yeah, so I met my girlfriend in a pub, and stuff, and we started speaking, and I like to be a bit like you. Sometimes I like to be honest and upfront. So I was worried, just in case what she would say. So I said, I've got a disability, and she just went to that and said, so what? And like that's what it should be like,
yeah,
Daniel, and stuff.
yeah.
So
Because your girlfriend Lorraine,
yeah.
doesn't have any disabilities, does she?
Yeah, no, I forgot to say that as well. That yeah, my girlfriend has not got any kind of disabilities at all, um, and I suppose that's um, suppose. Well, I mean, long as we're happy together and
Yeah,
stuff.
and you have things in common, and your disability isn't a part of your relationship as a
No,
whole. I would, I would imagine.
yeah, no, it's not really like an issue. At the beginning, it might have been weird for her family or whoever, or my family or whoever, um, we are getting a good way, if that makes sense. That I had a girlfriend and she's not got any kind of like disability whatsoever. And now, fast forward 9 years, like we're staying together and all that, and I work from home and she's out of work and all that. And it's just like I try not to use the word normal, but you know what I mean? It's just
Yeah,
like a kind of like normal relationship, even though I don't like that word, but I don't know what a way to describe it.
yeah,
But that's me. But you had a way back at school, and
yeah.
yes, that wasn't yesterday's
Thanks,
time.
Michael, for that reminder.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, It's okay, you're still younger than me. That's fine.
Yeah, yeah. I
Um,
always have that 2 years on you, Michael.
yeah, I know. Yeah. But no, you went out as one of my best pals in school, Graham.
Yeah, that's right. I did. And I went out with Graham for 3.5 years. I was just about, I was 14, just about to turn 15 when Graham and I got together. Um, and I would not change that for the world. I loved him to pieces. But your story, when I heard it, when we got back in touch that day, when we met Lorraine and she didn't have any disabilities, that gave me hope because I wouldn't change the time I spent in the game for the world, and we had the support of our families in a relationship, and by that I mean it wasn't patronising in any sense. Like sometimes you'll hear parents of disabled people say, "Oh, they've got a wee girlfriend or a wee boyfriend or whatever." It wasn't like that at all. If I argued with Graham, then Graham and I argued in a
Mm.
relationship. It was not nobody else was involved. No, the only what I mean by saying we supported was to put it in context. You and I went to school in Glasgow, which had people from all over West Central Scotland with disabilities, predominantly a physical disability. And I think we're sitting here talking about not categorising people, but at that time in our life, that I think you would agree that that school worked for us, and it set us on the journey that we're kind of on now in our careers. Um, so Ash Craig had people, all pupils had some sort of physical disability. So the relationship I had with Graham was supported by both our parents, and that Graham was from Falkirk and I'm from Ayrshire. So we would take it in turns to visit each other and stuff. So in that respect, our parents would drop us off, I guess, like any other teenagers. So, but they weren't involved in our relationship, if that makes sense, because my relationship with Graham was my relationship. It wasn't, there was nobody else involved, if that makes sense.
How long did you go out with Glenn for, Daniel?
I went in with Graham for 3.5 years. But as you know, Graham had a progressive disability and sadly passed away when he was 21.
Mm.
I wasn't with him when he passed away, to be fair, because I had lost my mum, so I didn't feel that I could be the person he needed me to be. So I just thought it was easier to kind of distance myself. I was wrong because when he passed away, it still hit me as hard as ever because and his family had also treated me like a daughter for 3.5 years.
Mm.
His mum and his dad understood why I did what I did, but I could never have that conversation with Graham because as as we both know, we went to school with a lot of boys with muscular dystrophy, and it's progressive, unfortunately. But the boys on the whole know that, but their way of living with it is not to talk about when they're going to pass away. So Graham never spoke about that. He would often speak about us getting engaged or living together or whatever. And within myself, I knew that was probably never going to happen. But I couldn't say that to him because that's like taking it away from him and saying, well, you're going to die, so you're not going to be here. You know what I mean? So we had that within our relationship to kind of contend with, but we never really had that conversation. But as I said, I would not change the time I spent with him for the world, and it was, I loved him to pieces. But I would I have a relationship with another disabled person? Of course I would, but I also know that I could have a relationship with somebody who doesn't have a disability, because it's not about whether the person has a disability or not, it's about whether we're on the same level and we have things in common and things like that. It should be nothing to do with whether somebody has a disability or not.
Yeah, and I suppose like I mean, Glenn was one of my mates at school. He was kind of in my year, and I'm not going to go down this road, but just to let people know that when you go to a school like that a lot of people passes away because of their, disability and all that,
Yeah.
because of the kind of like disability. But what about now, Daniel, in terms of kind of like I mentioned about online dating, like would you would that be something that you would want to go down or no?
If I'm honest, I have tried it, but I don't have time for people who want to send, for example, inappropriate pictures. Why you wouldn't do that if you met somebody in a pub? So
Yeah.
why would you think it's okay to do that online? I will never understand that. And then people I often put pictures up. If I've shared pictures of myself, it's just from pictures when I've been out and about or whatever, so you can clearly see my wheelchair. So I never hide it. But then when you mention to people that you have a disability, it's kind of like, oh right, okay, and then the conversation kind of changes or comes to an end. And I don't mean this to sound wrong either, but sometimes in my experiences, I've got messages from other people who have disabilities, but maybe they've had a learning difficulty or whatever. And whilst I welcome talking to them, it's kind of like they've messaged me because I have a disability and they have a disability, whereas I don't want to be. I'll speak to anybody if I'm on the level with them or we have things in common, but why should it be, oh, I'll message that person because she has a disability? That's something that doesn't sit very well with me.
Do you kind of, and obviously because we're doing this kind of vlogs to let people know and understand different things as well about, different disabilities and different issues. But when we're talking about relationships, do you miss it?
The side of being in a relationship. Sometimes I think, when would I have time right now? Because it doesn't seem I have enough time in the day to do the things I need to do for work, and that's fine, that's great, I'm embracing that and welcoming it and everything. But I miss the whole sort of having somebody to spend time with, and I suppose to call mine, I suppose, and just having that sort of relationship and not the intimacy or anything, but just having. I mean, I see my friends and they have kids and all that, and then I'm kind of like, I often do wonder if I didn't have a disability, would I be married with like 2 kids by now? I don't know. Maybe my life would have took a different path, and maybe I wouldn't be running my own business and doing what I do. But yeah, I do miss certain aspects of it, and just like even the wee things like like Valentine's Day, it's like you feel like you're sad and single because you don't get a Valentine's card, but it's all commercial anyway, and just a way of getting money out of people. But
Yeah,
you do think about these things, yeah.
I suppose I was a bit like that when I was single as well, because when you go to, you know, this might sound a bit daft, but that's actually not when like you go to family parties, whether
Yeah.
it's like birthday parties or weddings, and you see like couples there, and okay, you had single cousins and all that, but most of them had partners, and you wish
Yeah.
that and stuff. And yeah, you're right about Valentine's Day as well, but also to share like, oh, how was work today, and
It's just the everyday things.
yeah, and but what I would say was when I met the Rensies, she was my kind of what you would say first series non-disability girlfriend, if that makes sense. But it doesn't, like as we said earlier on, it doesn't like define me because like and I suppose like you're right as well that they classify as Danielle being in a wheelchair and see should automatically go out with somebody in a wheelchair or automatically go out with somebody with a different impairment disability, but to
Yeah.
be honest,
Yeah.
it's your life and you can do what you want and you can go out with whoever you want. And
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. And we both spoke about Graham, and he had muscular dystrophy, but his younger brother also has cerebral palsy. Again, definitely affected us. But his little brother has gone on to get married and has two children of his own now. So that's another example of how he didn't let his GP get in the way of anything, pretty much.
I
And
suppose, uh,
yeah,
no, I forgot to say, so as well as Lorraine not being disabled and stuff, I think I told you this before, Danielle, but there's a 11-year difference between me
yeah,
and
that's
like
yeah,
Lorraine. Um, I was a bit worried to tell my mum and dad about it because not only that, like Lorraine's got a daughter as well. So not only I was telling about she wasn't disabled, she's older than me, and she's got a daughter. So I wanted to tell my mum and dad, but like I was building up to the moment and stuff. So I eventually told them, and do you know what, Danielle? They didn't care. My mum and dad.
no, they
They
should.
just said to
That's
me,
really good.
yeah, they just said to me, as long as like I was happy and stuff, and 9 years down the line, like the ring gets on well with my mum and dad, and I got on well with her mum and dad, and it's fine, But it just comes back to the point that people's got this assumption that you've got a disability, so you should really go out with somebody with a disability,
Yeah,
but
I
that's
mean,
not right.
no, I mean, it was even said to me one time I was in the pub and this random person was in the pub and he was drunk. So I would like to hope that it was alcohol that influenced this approach, but it also concerned me because I know for a fact my older brother would never speak about me like this to anyone. He would just be like, "Oh yeah, Danielle, she's my wee sister," and what, and talking about me as a person, which is how he should talk about me. And my CP would always be an afterthought for Christopher because I'm just his sister, which is how it should be. But somebody approached me in the pub one time and said, "Oh, my brother's in a wheelchair," and I said, "All right," just randomly, given that I've never met them before. And then he said, "Do you know Andrew?" And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't even know you. And he's like, but you must know Andrew, cause he's, and he's nodding to my wheelchair, and I was like, don't even finish that sentence. Just don't even do that.
Yeah.
And he just walked away. But he was obviously trying to imply that I must know Andrew because he's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I
Because
know.
it's like saying if you go on holiday and you meet people and say, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Scotland. Oh, you're from Scotland, you must know Joe Blogs because they're from Scotland. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's really quite stupid, but it's actually quite fun in a way.
You
If you,
have to laugh. You have to laugh because if you
yeah,
don't laugh, you just
because
end
look,
up.
yeah, it's like you know, because you're in a wheelchair, again, it means to say, do you know the guy doing the street in a wheelchair?
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
what about we were going to talk about the dating programs,
Yeah,
Danielle,
yeah. The programs that
um,
make us frustrated and
yeah,
angry.
yeah,
Yeah.
um, they want to speak about love on the spectrum.
Yeah, I didn't know about this program, and you said to me to watch it before we vlogged today, so I did. And it was 5 episodes, and as the title implies, it was talking about people who were on the autism spectrum. And again, it was implying that all people with autism should date another person with autism. And that's just it in a nutshell. For me, it proved the point of the approach that these programs are trying to take in just getting sympathy for people. Because when I was watching it, one of my support staff come in and went, "Oh, that's lovely." Well, no, it's not. That's the point. But her reaction showed the reaction of what the media and what Channel 4 and what Netflix are trying to portray in these programs to get sympathy for people with disabilities. And watching the program made me feel quite uncomfortable at times because, for one example, there was an example where a guy and a girl who both had autism went on a date, and it got too much for the woman or the girl to be on camera, so she asked to take a break, and then it was leaving the guy with just the producers in a restaurant, kind of like, okay, this is really awkward to watch. And it's like they're almost like just like emphasizing somebody's disability and like putting them on show. I mean,
Yeah,
it's really uncomfortable to watch. And not that long ago, one of my friends slash PAs mentioned the Undateables to me, and I was like, do not ever mention that program in reference to my life ever again. And she's like,
yeah.
really? Would you not go on that program? And I'm like, no. You're
No,
trying to say because I'm in a wheelchair, I'm not undateable? I'm undateable.
yeah. I mean, for me, I don't think the. I mean, I mentioned you said the on as well, but like it was okay for Channel 4 maybe to get a one off, but to drag it out over what 5, 6 series, it's a bit kind of. And the name of the program, the Undateable,
Yeah,
so they're saying that people with a disability is undateable.
yeah, and it's just people with disabilities. I think it would be different if it had a mixture of non-disabled and people with disabilities, but it doesn't. It has solely people with disabilities, the same with that program on Netflix. It's solely people with autism,
Yeah,
and people with autism, like cerebral palsy, it's such a wide spectrum. No two people are the same. And that's like saying everybody with autism should date everybody with autism. And maybe you and I should do a program that says everybody with CP should date everybody with CP and see how
yeah,
that goes.
yeah. I
Uh,
know, but I mean, to me, at first it was good that they were highlighting it, but like it would be a one-off for me and all that, and why do they have to feel the need to carry on and stuff?
And as you and I have also spoke about, there's also programs, dating programs on the TV for like mainstream TV and for people with no disabilities. And one example is first dates. So
Yeah,
why could you or I go, or anybody with a disability go on that program? Why has there got to be a specific dating program for
yeah,
people with disabilities? If there was a dating program, or for example a game show or any kind of show that only had white people on it, for example, there'd be an uproar and it'd be racist and all that,
yeah.
and it'd be all over the media. This is terrible, whatever. So why is it okay to just have dating programs for people with disabilities?
Yeah, I mean, it's like putting people in boxes again. It's
Yeah,
like, oh,
yeah,
Daniels could say, well, let's put on the Undateables, and Michael's
yeah,
not got any kind of disability. We'll put him on first dates.
yeah,
Whereas it should be Daniel's got a disability, you should go on first dates as well as me.
yeah. To emphasise that, and I'm not, obviously, like in some situations, a couple will have, will both have their own difficulties, because I think at that event that you spoke at, where you shared yours and Lorraine's story, the majority of the other speakers were talking about the fact that they have a learning difficulty and their partners have a learning difficulty, and that's fine, because as people, they must have more in common than just a learning difficulty. That's absolutely great. If that works for them, they're happy as a couple, that's absolutely great. But I think what we're trying to get across is that I wouldn't go out and meet somebody, or or say to you, I'm going to go out and try and find a boyfriend with cerebral palsy because we're going to get
Mm.
on because he
Yeah,
has cerebral palsy.
yeah.
You know,
And the thing is as well, like, for an example, you could go out to meet somebody with any kind of disability and you would go on,
yeah,
if you know what I mean. You would disagree with the price of milk or, like
yeah,
everyday kind of stuff. So
yeah,
it doesn't guarantee that you're going to, what I'm trying to say is, it's not, it doesn't guarantee that if you meet somebody with a disability, I'm not saying like you would, but imagine if you did, that you're not guaranteed that you're going to go on with the person.
no, and I think obviously there's groups and there's clubs and there's dates and mates and things like that for people with various disabilities. And I hope I don't cause offence to anybody watching or to you by saying this, but these clubs and groups, yeah, they entirely have their place, and I can see why a lot of people would find support in making relationships and meeting people through them. Would I go to a club like that to meet somebody or to make friends? No, I wouldn't. I'd rather go to the pub
Mm,
because the majority of my friends are that I go to the pub with aren't disabled. So
mm,
the likelihood of me meeting a disabled partner is quite slim because I don't mix in groups of just disabled people.
mm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. Yeah. Um, And if I was in that situation, I don't know what I would do. Like if I was still single or whatever, if I would join dates mates or other organisations. I mean, I suppose the only thing I would say about these organisations is like they help to build people's
Yeah,
confidence.
they help you build people's
But
confidence. That's
yeah,
what I mean. They do have a place, and they're great
they have their
for
own
people
place.
that need it.
Yeah, but it's not for everyone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nothing's for everyone, but I think when you have a disability, it's almost assumed, oh, you just go there because you have a disability.
yeah. That's an interesting kind of like topic for a future blog or something, that because it's a disability organisation, do you have to go there?
Yeah, and that's something I have had a conversation a lot over the years, saying, oh, discos and things that are on for disabled people, or do you want to go to that? No, well, I'd rather just go to the pub, thank you.
It's a bit like when we were at school, like looking back now, would we all went to that school, and when I went to college, why was my tutors not really supportive of me to do the course that
to go to a mainstream course?
Yeah, that I wanted to do. And Skegger saying to me, you know, well, they never really come out and said, like you can't do that, but they kind of said that in a kind of roundabout way and stuff. So yeah, but no, so that was kind of good, and I hope people get, like a lot out of it.
We could easily talk about this for another couple hours, but I hope that by doing this vlog and by us doing it together and sharing our experience, it just puts it across that we're in 2020, a world where everything's supposed to be inclusive, when actually you've still got programmes and opinions in the media of disabled people being undateable.
Yeah.
So thanks, Michael, for doing this vlog with me, and we'll talk again soon. Yeah,
okay, I'll see you there, King Daniel.
Yeah.
Right, bye.
Bye.